you're new here, welcome. I am so glad you stopped by. So for today's video, it's going to be something a little bit different. It's going to be dealing more with photography. So lately I have been thinking of different ways to kind of amp up my Instagram. So that is when I decided to basically do a milk bath photo shoot with my boyfriend. So he's going to be taking my pictures with my camera. So I thought it would be nice to actually record it and do a little DIY milk bath photo shoot for you guys. That way, if you guys are interested in doing something different for your pictures, the milk bath is such an easy way and a great way to do so because it's just so romantic, so soft, so angelic almost. And I thought it'd be so fun to bring you guys along the way to show you guys how to do this simple kind of setting or backdrop, whatever you want to call it, in place. I don't even know. For you guys, that way you guys can have a little bit of an idea of how to actually do this. And it's so easy. You can do this at home, and I'm gonna bring you through every step of the way, and next thing you know it, you might have beautiful milk bath pictures. So I'm gonna bring you guys along the way on how I got the milk bath ready and set to go and what I actually wore. If you are interested in doing this milk bath yourself at your home, at your friend's house, at your grandma's house, wherever you guys want to, make sure you stick along to the end of the video so you can see everything along the way. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to also join my little YouTube family, and hit the like button if you really do love this video. And without further ado, let's get to the video. Okay guys, so I'm going to be doing it in my bathroom, in my own personal bathroom, and I bought these floral bouquet arrangements. They're small because I didn't want to put a lot of flowers in my actual bathtub, but they were about $5.99 at Target. However, I went to H-E-B, which is our food store here in Texas, and there were a lot more variety and bigger bouquets and just with different colors for only about $3.99. So I'm pretty sure you can find even cheaper ones at Walmart if you have your local Walmart instead of Target. These were just accessible for me because that's the store that I went to first, and I thought about just buying them. And the floral that I bought are these little smart carnations, and these little, I don't even know what the name of these are called, but they're palm. The reason why I bought these specific ones is because if you're doing a milk bath, a lot of your floral is going to sink. So you need to be looking for flowers that are kind of open to the side, or that you can mess with to kind of open them a lot more so they're able to flow. You also need to find really light flowers because if they're pretty heavy, they're just going to sink to the bottom and you're not going to be able to see them. You can get roses, but they're going to go to the side. Now, if you're okay with them kind of going to the side, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and get them. But the more of the flower is open, kind of like a lily almost, or just your daisies, those are great because they're fully open and they're just definitely going to float. A cool trick with these that you can do if you really want them to stay up tight and up high, even your roses, go ahead and get some bubble wrap, and you can attach you can make a little hole, and then you can stick the little stem through them. I just didn't get any bubble wrap because I just didn't want to spend more than what I wanted to anyway. So this is my bathtub that's going to be getting filled with water, probably like less than halfway because I do not want to get all soaked wet. And for the milk, I just bought this whole milk gallon from H-E-B. Now, a good alternative to use is also powder milk if you want something like a more of an opaque little bath instead of a translucent bath. But if you have enough milk to just buy the gallon milk and you can make an opaque enough bath, I would do so. The reason why I bought this one is because, well, my store, both Target and H-E-B, which were the only stores that I went to, I didn't want to go to anymore, carried powder milk, but it was about this much for about $6, even $3, and I knew my bathtub was pretty big, so I knew that I was going to need more. Okay, so I took them off of their packaging, and the only thing that I'm going to be doing is pretty simple enough, is I'm just going to be taking the stem with the flower, and I'm going to be only cutting the top bud or part of the flower and just leaving a tad bit of a stem with the flower, only so it can help the flower float. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be kind of like puffing them out. That way the flower actually sits on its outer layer petals. I would recommend, if you want to go with different colors, I would definitely recommend buying a bouquet that already has different color florals in them instead of buying 2 different ones. The reason why I bought 2 different ones is because, like I said, I went to Target and I did not have much of a variety to choose from. So I just bought these carnations, and I'm just going to put them in this little tray that I have here while I cut the rest of them, because I don't want to be putting them in my bath before I actually put my milk or anything else. So I'm just going to be cutting them each, leaving a little stem below. Same thing here with the purple ones. Going to keep kind of fluffing them as much as I can. Now I'm only going to be putting these flowers in there, and maybe, I haven't decided yet, maybe some of these green leaves. The carnations don't have much of leaves to work with, but I've seen some beautiful milk baths that have florals, and then they also have leaves, some stems, and I've actually also seen some with pieces of citrus, so such as an orange or even a lemon, even a lime, whatever you prefer to make your milk bath a little extra. Okay guys, so these are the flowers that I'm going to be using. They're all set up here in my tray. The reason why I put them in my tray is so I can put them in the bathtub actually a lot easier than just start throwing them in there after I'm cutting them. That way I have my tray and then I can just put them in there. Like I mentioned before, I have already fluffed all of my flowers to help them float a little bit easier, for them not to sink. I'm going to be trying these leaves because a lot of leaves actually do not float. So I would recommend stacking them, but I feel like these might be able to float. I'm not so sure. But that's why we are going to test these out. So now I'm just going to fill up my bath, and I'm going to pretty much have mostly hot to warm water, because you don't want it to be super cold, because then you're going to be bathing in really cold milk. Taking a milk bath. That's not something you see every day. So that's about half a gallon. Let's see. Looks a little like murky, but it doesn't look that white. Okay, so I turned the water on. So I filled the bathtub like pretty much halfway, a little bit closer to the top. Now, if you're gonna fill it up all the way, or kind of like how I did, I would recommend using like a stepping stool, or almost like one of those, what are those stools called where you like use to go to the restroom, you put your feet on? Yeah, just to kind of like prop you up. But if you don't want a lot of water, if you just want a little bit of water, then don't fill it up all the way like how I did. But this is pretty much like halfway. That's pretty much how I want to be kind of like soaked in. Now, I'm not going to be putting in the flowers until I'm in there, because if I put the flowers in right now and then I get in there, I might have the flowers just moving around and not exactly where I want them to be. Also, since our restroom does not have any light, it has no actual like windows, I had to bring my studio lights, my umbrella lights. So I just have a short one. The water again keeps turning it on. I keep turning on the water. And then I have a taller one here. But you also have to make sure that you have enough space for your photographer. You also don't want to put them so closely, especially because mine are not cordless. And use whatever lighting you have here. We don't have pretty good lighting here. Actually, one of our light bulbs is off. And our lighting is yellow, and that's not what I'm going for. So you really want a really bright, either big windows, a bathroom that has really big like windows, or just bring translucent light. That way your actual milk bath can be as white as possible, so you don't have to do a lot of after edits. Another quick tip is to make sure you also really deep clean your bathtub, because you want your bathtub to look as shiny and as white as possible. And if you're going to be using lighting like how I did, or any other sort of props, or if you're just bringing anything else, make sure you also clean up your cabinet space. That's why my cabinets were pretty much empty when I showed it to you guys earlier. That way I have enough room to prop up my lighting and even set up my phone to record if I wanted to. So what I would recommend to wear is just either a tube top, like a neutral tube top, or a light pastel tube top, even a halter top, or just a bathing suit that is almost
well, that it's strapless. If it does have straps, just make sure that you're able to cover the straps if you prefer the straps not showing. Now I'm wearing a bralette right now. It's just like a lilac bralette, and mine has tops, but I wanted them to show, so I'm perfectly fine with that. But other than that, if you don't want anything to be showing, just make sure you bring like a bralette or even a tube top. So this is how the bath ended up looking afterwards, and I feel like we got some pretty good pictures. If you can tell, most of the flowers have either gone to the side or they've turned upside down, or even some of them have even gone to the bottom. So I'm gonna clean this up, and I think we got some pretty good pictures. Jonathan was able to move a lot and he was able to get some pictures. So I'm just going to pop those up into my computer and then start editing them.